Hi everyone, I'm sat here this morning with Jane Pesticcio. You may recognise her from church or from Tots and Toys, but we are excited because Jane is very, very creative and has just written a book of poems. And so I've asked Jane to sit down and have a quick conversation with me about why she's written the book and how we can support her in that. And she's also going to share one of her poems later on. So thanks very much, Jane, for joining us this morning. I love your book. I've been out and bought it already. It's lovely just to read through read your poems and look at the great pictures inside there. I was just wondering if you could tell us kind of the reason why you've written the book, why it's titled The Year of 2020.
Well, Mike, I've been writing for about a year for a local folk group, Rumney Folk Group, and because of the pandemic, it went online. Now, normally I would struggle to write a poem for once a month, but online it was once a week.
Right.
And so when the pandemic hit, I write about what's going on in everyday life. That's what my poems are about. So all my poems were about news flashes on what was going on, rainy days, the autumn walk. You know, there wasn't just bad stuff going on. It was basically a Cardiff mother, a year's diary in a sense, in poetry form.
I'm really pleased and excited that you've been able to publish your own book. Well, was it an easy thing to do? Or
no, not at all.
Tell us a little bit of the journey for you of publishing your book.
I went to a community centre and learnt computers, but unless somebody's by my side, I go into a complete meltdown. If I press that button, it all goes wrong. So I'm good at writing on my poetry on my phone, and I love taking photographs, of anything and everything,
Yeah.
But to publish was just a complete meltdown. And I saw this lady on Facebook selling books, and I said, well, I just want to publish a book, I don't want to buy one, I just want to publish one. Yeah. And she put me on to Jen Parker, Fuzzy Flamingo Publishing, and straight away Jen said, yes, I'll do that. And she was like my best friend, and along with Jen and my daughter, who's brilliant on the computer, together we kind of created this book.
I'm just wondering if you can read a poem for us, like your favourite poem maybe from the book, and share that a little bit, and that would be really good.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Well, this poem is one of my first. It's called Pandemic, the Arrival. And like I say, I used to write news reports on what was going on. And somebody actually asked me to write this because I don't know if you've noticed that when you listen to the news, there's lots of buzzwords that they say. And I would sit there listening to the news, writing down all these words, which you don't realise suddenly become in your everyday language. So this is Pandemic, the Arrival. It was the eve of the 23rd of March 2020, when suddenly our lives went from full to empty. Unless you were a key worker and your job was key, needed to look after the likes of you and me. A deadly virus was spreading fast, containment and restrictions needed for humanity to last. Boris Johnson gave a briefing, stay at home, stay safe, that's my plan. Children off school, work at home if you can. Daily updates I will give to you to follow the science with much ado. We need to protect the NHS and not put the staff under duress. If too many people are ill, all the beds will steadily fill. Citizens and with breathing problems and over 70 must for 3 months isolate. Letters received saying, if you go outside, await your fate. The simple instruction was to stay home, save lives, unless of course you need food or medical supplies. You can exercise once a day, but other households must stay away. Washing hands for 20 seconds will keep the germs at bay. Jobs were furloughed, workers told to stay home, but make sure you ring friends and family on the phone. Each night, Boris and his team would give updates on the daily spread, lines on a chart, and sadly, the dead. We had to wait until the peak. At times the figures surged, looked really bleak. We need to see the R rate reduce and flatten the curve. Just stick to the rules and SAGE will observe. Key workers were constantly short of PPE. Masks, scrubs, aprons, visors a necessity. Care homes with the elderly trapped inside. Sadly, they had no place to hide. Supermarket shoppers soared and people grabbed what they could to hoard. Loo rolls past, a chicken disappeared. Queuing 2 meters apart, wearing masks was quite weird. The new normal day now is Blur's Day, for every day seems like Thursday. At 8 o'clock, we all go out and clap for the NHS. Doctors and nurses on the front line put to the test. People are using Skype and WhatsApp or having a quiz to soften the blow and give life a fizz. Waving to family and friends, not seen for a while, bringing us hope and happiness with a smile. Now the curves on the charts are beginning to flatten. The R rate is showing a downward pattern. A roadmap for life after the corona is yet to reveal a life with more freedom and greater appeal.
Wow. I'd talk about buzzwords in there. I was trying to remember them all as you were reading them. Like protect the NHS.
It's amazing what you forget, Mike.
Yeah, flatten the curve.
Flatten
I completely forgot about that one. Yeah.
The R rates and SAGE.
Absolutely, absolutely. And such a big change. And we were just talking before we made this video, weren't we, about how it's been a whole year since you've written that poem.
Where's
since
that year
it started.
gone? Where's that year gone, Mike?
Well, do you know what? I would love to invite you to support Jane in the book that she's written. And what a great memory, actually, of the year 2020. So on Sunday, the 4th of April, Easter Sunday, Jane has got some copies of this book that she'll be bringing to the Sunday service. And we're inviting you to buy one of those books. Not only will you be supporting Jane with her creativity, it's a great memory of 2020, but also £3 from each of the books that sold will go to our Crossroads food project here at Rumley Chapel. So if you would like to buy one of those books, then do let us know. Jane will be at the back of the hall on the Sunday service on Easter Sunday, and what a great way to remember 2020. Thanks so much, Jane.
Oh, thank you, Mike.
It's been great to hear one of your poems.
Yes.
Find out a little bit more of your journey to get there. We wish you all the best with the next book.
Yeah, it's on its way.
Brilliant. Thanks so much.
Thank you.